to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. This is Brother Asaph, and this is a warning to all Negroes. Never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Let him go.
It was forever, and at the same time, just a moment. My grave is empty. I'm not a hashtag. And if these folks didn't intervene, that wouldn't be true.
I'm listening intently to 36-year-old Vox Booker recount how he thought a group of white men who'd pinned him to a tree were going to lynch him on Independence Day.
The 4th of July didn't free everyone in this nation. That has been a constant struggle, and there is nothing more American, perhaps, than hanging a black man who's a human rights commissioner on Independence Day.
He's explaining to me how
he shouldn't have been there. It's not your day. Your ancestors were slaves. They were working. They were in the barns. They were doing the labor while they were celebrating. It's not your celebration. So you should have never went. Especially not alone with 5 Edomite white men.
he believes the only reason we're able to have this conversation on this day is because allies circled him.
I was surrounded by a group of all white people, and most of them strangers. They were willing to put themselves and their bodies on the line to protect me, someone who was a stranger.
Vox says what began as a beach outing with friends turned violent when the group shown here clashed with his group about allegedly being on private property.
You with your 5 white friends? You happy with your 5 white friends?
A trio of videos he shared in a detailed Facebook post about the incident have since gone viral. In it, he explains how he decided to go talk to the group after an initial tense encounter.
I know a lot of people have asked me why I made that choice to go and have a conversation with someone that might be saying something racist. But I'm a black man that has grown up in southern Indiana. I've always had to navigate that difficult road.
Vox says his goodwill gesture failed and things quickly became dangerous.
Aren't you happy about that?
What do you really want to call me?
Do it, you nappy-headed.
What do you want to call me?
What did you think they were going to do to you?
I felt that they were going to try to do everything they could to seriously injure me and, if not kill me. And if I had a doubt, the doubt was removed when I heard one of them yell at, the friend like a command to get a noose. It's 2020. How do we not have a federal anti-lynching act?
Part of the reason is this man. Senator Rand Paul blocked a bill the House passed in February that would have made lynching a federal hate crime.
This bill would expand the meaning of lynching to include any bodily injury, including a cut, an abrasion, or a bruise.
What were your injuries?
I was diagnosed with a minor concussion. I also had abrasions and bruising and a neck strain and patches of hair that were ripped out of my head.
This happened in Vox's home state. He's from Indiana and grew up in a small city called Columbus. Only 2.5% of the population is black. He tells me he's been trying to get a memorial to commemorate a lynching victim who was killed 150 years ago.
I had to realize that I had family in Indiana that were contemporary to that time, and what that event must have felt like for them, for the sheer horror of knowing that you could be taken and lynched at any moment. And never did I dream, as I was reading those accounts, that could be my story.
Lynching was so commonplace in the U.S. in the late 19th and early 20th centuries that estimates say there were 2 to 3 black people lynched weekly in the South. Lynchings were premeditated acts of violence used to instill fear. They became a popular way for white people to express their anger at free black people. The gruesome images from the group attacks were even placed on postcards.
This was certainly a boon to photographers and postcard dealers. Some of these images, like this one from Marion, Indiana, that man made 50,000 prints of that photo and sold them for 50 cents a piece before the the governor of the state got him to stop printing.
Between 1877 and 1950, more than 4,400 lynchings took place in the U.S. In April 2018, the nation's first memorial dedicated to lynching victims was opened in Montgomery, Alabama. And before you say it, no, Indiana is not the South, but it has had lynchings and a well-documented history of deep Ku Klux Klan connections. At the peak of its power within the state, the KKK counted the governor as a member, half the legislature, and 30% of the native-born white men in Indiana. That history still affects Indiana today and shapes Vox's human rights work.
I'm charged with the enforcement of Oak County's Human Rights Ordinance. This is my first year on the Human Rights Commission, but I also chair our county's Affordable Housing Commission.
In a state where less than 10% of the residents are black, seeing Vox Booker retell his story to supporters at a rally to support him resonates.
I'm here live today because folks stopped being bystanders.
Please let him go. We're going to as soon as you let him go. I'm going to.
They had a choice. They could have left me with these men who were attacking them as well. They literally put their lives on the line to save mine.
And though the rally ended in violence when the driver of a red car accelerated and injured two anti-racist protesters, what Vox wants you to remember is what it means to be on the right side of history.
It's no longer acceptable to merely not be racist, that you must work to adamantly be anti-racist.
Vox says local law enforcement didn't arrest anyone, and what he wants is justice. The FBI has now stepped in.
An official investigation has been opened up by the FBI. We want this investigated as a hate crime. It was clearly racially motivated.
I don't want this moment to define my life, and I don't want the worst thing that's been done to me to define my existence. But I'm going to stay as strong as I can.
And this is why we say the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. As you can see, this has been a continuous pattern all the way from slavery all the way up till now. And we're still experiencing the wrath of the sword of the Edomites. This was preordained by the Most High for our wickedness in the ancient world, turning to other gods of wood and stone and sacrificing our children to Molech. This is the reason why the Most High cast us into servitude under the great sword of the Edomites. Let's look at some scriptures and analyze this. Let's look at Genesis, at the blessings of Esau. As has been well documented, the white man is a great hunter and he is a great predator. He goes all around the world hunting for wild game, buffalo, giraffes, the lion. They're the main ones who do that because the Most High gave them the gift to be able to do it. That's why in the normal household of most Edomites, they have a gun or two. Most way more than that. But anyway, let's read the scriptures. Genesis 27, and we'll just go to the blessing because we know that Jacob received the blessing of the kingdom and the to be a ruler on this planet Earth, whereas Esau received a momentary blessing. And let's read his blessing. And Isaac his father answered him and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother, which is Jacob. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And he broke the yoke off of Jacob's neck during the after the Dark Ages, during the Renaissance period, in which they rose back into power and slew the Jews and the Islamic people, in which were the same people, the Hebrews, that were over in Europe. Okay, and it says, we'll read 40 again. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So he gained the dominion. He's in the dominion right now for a short season. Okay, as it states in Revelations. But okay, as you can see, he was given the sword to be able to rule with. The Edomites have the greatest weapons on planet Earth. The whites, okay, the so-called white man. He's really red. His blood shows forth through his skin. Okay. And let's look at that sword, this great sword. Let's go to Revelation 6 and 4. We're just trying to identify this evil, wicked devil. Okay, so let's see here. Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So the Most High gave the Edomites a great sword to be able to hunt, to have cunningness, serpent-like ability, okay, and to be able to be crafty. You know, that's the reason why they're able to lie so well and to deceive, okay. You know, they covet fields and lands and take them by force and by violence, okay, and that's what they do. And let's take, I think that's in Micah, I think it's Micah 2. Micah 2 verses 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it's in the power of their hand. It's in the power of the hand of the Edomites to be able to do whatever they want to do, because this is their kingdom. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Like they drove off the Native Americans from their land and broke all the treaties. Okay, so the Most High is showing us who these people are through the scriptures. Habakkuk 2. We'll go on here to verses, we'll read Habakkuk 2 verses 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man. They're the proudest on planet Earth. Make America great. Neither keepeth at home. They have military bases all over the earth, or in every known country. They're there. Over 70, I think it's 70 or 80 military bases in like 700 countries, something like that. It's huge. All right, it's a lot of military bases around the globe. Okay, they have, you know, we used to do that also. The Israelites had garrisons as well. When everything was upside down, we had the Edomites giving tribute and everything. But that's a whole nother story. But anyway, this is what's going to eventually happen to them. It says in verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. because we just noted that he covers fields and takes them by force. He dropped bombs on Iraq and took a lot of their wealth from Iraq and then set up a puppet leader to rule. It says, how long? And to him that layeth himself with thick clay, with thick debt, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? So in other words, these nations are going to rise up eventually and shoot nuclear missiles over here to destroy this place. Okay? All right. So let's look at a parting scripture here. I guess let's go to Deuteronomy 28 to re-emphasize that you're amongst your enemy. Most High didn't send you to your friends. He sent you to your enemies. All right? Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by way that whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. 300, 400, 500 sold for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall redeem you or buy you back. Because in the ancient world, you could be able to buy back slaves. Okay? So you were sold to your enemies. They're not your friends. That's what this video is all about. You've been given a historical record of the history of the white man, what he did to our ancestors, and what he continues to do today. Okay? So let's go to Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therein. And he said, just like this guy, he thought that it was a good thing to go out with 5 Edomites to the woods, to the beach. And he walked through the woods and got assaulted. 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? So, as you can see, no one's going to pity you if you've been given this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you're dealing with your enemy. We're not going to pity, us Israelites are not going to pity you for doing that. But the scriptures say we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So we will hope that one day this young man wakes up to this understanding. But until that, the ones who are listening to this lesson will read Hosea 4 verses 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. So the Most High expects you to learn the true understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of him and his purposes. So if you're listening, understand that the Bible is a true book. And it provides all the wisdom, knowledge, understanding you need to cope through these dark times, because the times are getting ready to get really, really dark. So with that, I say shalom, and I hope you're edified.